So I was talking with a client of mine just yesterday, and they were telling me that they're signing a lot of clients. They're actually doing really well with their marketing, generating quite a lot of appointments, but they are looking to actually change what they're doing at the moment and go back to focusing on client delivery and not really finding too many clients because now they want to focus on delivery, right? They have too many clients to serve. They need to focus on that. And this is something that I see all the time by people who think that, now because they've signed a few clients, they can kind of sit back on things and, maybe they just focus on delivery and just serve these clients for a bit, focus on the client acquisition later. And I was explaining to him a bit of a story and a bit of an experience that I had, and basically how it really changed my paradigm around this and my beliefs around this. And I'm going to tell it to you in this video because I think it's going to help a lot of people out there. So if you're not familiar with me, my name's Ben Lister. I help agency owners by documenting my learnings on this YouTube channel that help me to make multi-six figures per year. So how the story goes is that when I first started my agency, it took me a long time to, really start signing clients on a consistent basis. And once that happened, what I realized is that, while I thought in my head that I'm going to have to, serve all these clients right now, I need to make sure that the service delivery is fantastic. I need to make sure that, these guys get a problem solved and, the service is good and all that kind of stuff. And so I stopped taking sales calls for like a week. I stopped my email outreach. I stopped the things that I was doing. And I took a bit of time to focus on the clients. Now, as with any client that you sign, eventually you will lose those clients. And, a couple of the service deliveries were okay. Some of them were not so good. And by the time these clients had finished, right, and I'd been working with these clients for a little bit of time, I thought, what, I'm going to start to sign more clients, right? Because I'm now no longer at this capacity that I had. I thought I could only sign, a certain number of clients at one time. And so I restarted my emails, okay? And my emails before were doing really well. I used to sign quite a lot of clients from email, and I don't know what the percentages were exactly, but let's say it was, 3% of people were booking an appointment. And so I thought this was pretty normal. This is like, I can do this, 3% is pretty good. And I didn't realize that that's actually very good, right? I didn't realize that was so good. And so when the time came around again, I thought, I'm going to start this thing up. And for some reason, the email provider that I was using just wasn't working as well as it was before. And I started getting put into the spam a little bit more. I think it was Outlook was blocking like all of the emails that they were sending. And so basically I went from a 3% appointment booking rate to less than 1%. And I had this system that I thought was working well originally, and I was like, this is going to be here forever. It's going to be this way for the longest time. I can sign clients at the click of my fingers. This is very easy. I'll just go and sign some more clients in the future, right? But I was very, very wrong because things change very quickly in business. And when you're doing outbound systems or even inbound systems or anything else to sign clients, there's a lot of things that are outside of your control. And what I realized in this moment is that if I hadn't have taken my foot off the gas, if I had have actually doubled down on the amount of clients that I was signing, if I was thinking, what, this is working really well. I was sending, 50 emails a day. Why don't we send 100 a day? Why don't we really ramp this thing up? If I had have done that, I would have signed an awful lot of clients, and, I would have been able to figure the service delivery out. I would have made a lot more money. Would have been able to grow my business, and I would have been able to learn from quite a lot of mistakes that I was making at that time. And this is what really led me to think about this experience. When I had this conversation with my client yesterday, and I just realized that many people don't actually understand that when the iron is hot, when you have something that works, you really need to double down on it. You do not want to be taking things for granted and sort of just pretending that, this will always be there, because based on my experience, things can change very, very quickly. And even though you have a system that is working right now, there are so many different nuances inside of that system, whether it's the email provider you're using, whether it's the, the lead sourcing you're using, whether it's the team that you have, right? Maybe people will leave and, people don't want to do the job for you anymore. Whatever it may be, there's always these tiny little things inside of each system where if they change, either the whole system will break or it will just be nowhere near as successful as it was as before. And the way that really anything works in business without actually, having someone to guide you or having someone to mentor you is you have to test certain things, right? You have to test out new email copy. You have to test out new adverts. You have to test out new sales scripts, whatever it may be. And you find what works, and you don't fully know what works because obviously psychology and, marketing is so difficult to actually predict what will work. And so you have to test different things and just see if it will work. And then when you find something that does work, which can take a lot of time, there's no guarantee that this will be around for a long time. Okay. And this is why a lot of of people copy or, develop on original ideas because it's so difficult to come up with something that is brand new, something that is, completely, done for the first time, and it actually be successful. This is why you see a lot of email copy that's the same. This is why you see a lot of social media DMs that you get, might be the same. People asking you, hey, I see you run an agency or whatever it is. People can't think for themselves, and they can't actually think of new things that is actually going to be successful. So they have to rely on different ideas and expand on different ideas to do this. But if you find something that works, if you have an email copy that is working really well, an email system that is working well, a way of signing clients, a sales script or objection handling technique that is working really well, and you don't double down on this, you don't increase the amount of sales calls you do, you don't increase the amount of emails you do, you don't increase the amount of adverts that you're doing, whatever it may be, then you're leaving so much money on the table, and you're almost taking that for granted, because the next time that you have this new thing that comes about, this, whatever it may be, it might be a long time before that happens, and it might be nowhere near as good as it was originally. And so I strongly believe in it, and all the experience that I've had is that if you have something that works, if you know something that other people don't know, and you realize something that other people don't, and you have this system that is getting you money, it's getting you clients, it's pushing you towards your goals, then you just have to double down on it. And here's some examples, okay? So this works in really any department inside of your business, whether this is the adverts that you run, whether this is the team communication that you have, whether this is, the HR system that you have, whatever it may be. If you find something that works, you really need to double down on it. And so one thing that I noticed when we were running Facebook ads previously is that if we would run, different ad sets, different ads, there would be one combination of copy and, creative that would work well, but one or two, right? And if we didn't make a bit of a move very quickly within the first couple of days, then we would actually lose quite a lot of budget for that campaign. So we would waste a lot of the budget towards, generating leads. And so let's say we had, one ad set that was doing sort of $5 a lead, another one that was doing $8 a lead, another one that was doing $12 a lead. If we didn't make a decision very quickly, I'm talking within like 36, 48 hours, then what would start to happen is we would basically be leaving money on the table where we could maybe do, 5, 6, 7 leads in a single day. And the sooner that we get to that point, then the more leads that we're going to get. And when it comes to actually building client campaigns and telling clients, this is what we can do, as soon as you launch the campaign, you really want to be generating results just to prove that it actually works. Because the longer you go without getting the kind of results, one customer for that client who can actually, sell to, and they can make a bit of money from it, the sooner you get to that point, the better it will be for your clients. And so if you don't double down on this, a larger chunk of your budget, and double down on that one ad set, that one creative you were using that was being successful, if you don't do that, pretty soon, or you don't do that at all, then you're going to leave an awful lot of money on the table. You're going to leave, leads on the table, client results on the table. And so, that's one example how you can really just double down on something that you see is working inside of your ad sets, and then you just put most of your budget towards that. And if you have an outreach system, whether this is emails, social media DMs, cold calling, whatever it is, if you have something that is working and it's consistently getting you a good result above your KPIs, you're booking, 2-3% of your calls or your emails or your DMs into appointments, then double down on that thing, hire another appointment setter, double the amount of emails that you're doing, double the amount of leads that you're putting in that system, whatever it may be, just go all in on that thing, because you don't know when that thing is going to break, right? And you really want to test the system. Every time that you have an outreach campaign like this, we're always thinking, how can we double this? How can we get the same percentage, but at a higher volume? So if we're converting it, 5% or whatever it may be, it'd be very high. If we're converting at 2% point booking rate, for example, and we're doing 1,000 leads, 1,000 emails every single week, I want to know, for example, how can we get this to 5,000 emails, 10,000 emails, and still hit that 2%? Because at the end of the day, you're not doing anything different here. You're literally just doing the same thing, but at a higher volume. So if this means that we need to hire another lead sourcer, if this means that we need to increase our, email software limit so that we can send more emails for the email software, then we're going to do that, right? And we know that if we put the same kind of inputs in and we don't change anything, we don't change the email copy, we don't change the lead sourcing strategy, we don't change, all these different things, and we have the correct SOPs in place so that the team can make sure they're doing exactly the same thing as what we were doing previously, then we know we're going to double the amount of results that we're getting. We know we're going to get the same 2%, right? And if we know that we add that extra volume in, then we know we're going to get these extra appointments, extra clients, extra sales calls, whatever it may be. And you also want to double down on the inbound strategies that you're doing. If you go and view my YouTube videos most viewed, the number one YouTube video that I have is most viewed. It's like 17,000 views now, something like that. Basically, I was like understanding or trying to figure out like why this was the case. And I thought, maybe it's the thumbnail, maybe it's the title. And I literally made another video that was like almost identical thumbnail, just like a different picture of me. And it now is my second most viewed video. And so basically I've doubled down on that format. Okay, I'm going to make more thumbnails that are like this. And then I've reaped the rewards of that, right? I've had another video that's done pretty well. And I think it's like almost on like 1,000 views or something. And so I've taken that system, right? The thumbnail that we're using, the title that we're using for that video, and I've tried to replicate it again. So same system, just a different format. So, you know, we're not really changing anything. And again, we've had that success. So doubling down on that format just means that, you know, I don't have to think of new things all the time. I don't have to, you know, test another thing out or whatever. Take the existing formula that we have, do it more times than once, you know. So now we've gone from 1 video to 2 videos, and now I'm going to get basically double the rewards of that, right? And I'm going to get another video that's going to do just as many views. Now, obviously, there's a caveat to this. If every single one of my video had exactly the same thumbnail, maybe that wouldn't work, right? So there can be times when doubling down on this or going all in on a certain format or a certain style doesn't work. But eventually, I guess if you did that too much, then you're going to break the system, right? There's obviously a limit to the system. And if you go too far, then you're going to break it, right? You're not going to get the kind of results that you were hoping for. But yeah, this is just something that I've been thinking about since yesterday when I spoke to my client. And I think that a lot of people can take a bit of lessons from this. It's something that I definitely made a mistake with in the past. And so if you don't make this mistake, then I'm guaranteed that you're going to save money, you're going to make money, you're going to sign more clients, you're going to do, you know, you're going to hit your goals a lot quicker anyway. But yeah. If you are looking for more clients, then click the first link in the description. It's not some, you know, opt-in or anything like that. We're not asking for anyone's phone number or emails. It's literally just a video of me explaining what my company does, how we've done this many times for different agencies in the past. But yeah, you don't have to click it, of course. I don't really care if you do or not. But if you like the video, then like the video, comment if you want me to cover anything specifically, and subscribe if you're new around here. But yeah, appreciate you watching this one to the end. Cheers.